also molesting, I think, his stepdaughter. I think he's a real foul. From what I understand, people have said that he's a real foul.
Well, let me see how good your memory is, Mr. Midnight Movie. Let me throw a name out to you that is a local name that you should know. You haven't heard it lately because he's been in prison, but the name is Bernie Ward. You remember Bernie Ward? You don't have to Google it. You don't have to Google it to tell me that you don't remember.
I don't.
Did I hear JP says he remembers?
No.
Bernie Ward was a left-wing talk show host out of California. He had quite a following. He was a big, fat guy, kind of like our Joe Seeker, the same size. And he loved to attack people on television, on radio. That was his M.O. He would just attack you and call you every name in the book. Unfortunately, Bernie also had a penchant for young boys. I believe it was young. I remember it was young. You know what? I might be doing him a service. It might have been young girls, maybe not young boys. But Bernie definitely had a thing for the young ones, kind of the same age as his own children. And Bernie was convicted of that. But a lot of the people on the left seem to be child molesters, rapists. I can remember Congressman Mel Reynolds or Mel Lewis? Melvin Reynolds or Lewis? Remember that name? Black guy with a little squiggly mustache, a little and teeth that kind of stood out in his face.
Mm-hmm.
He was convicted for fucking, I think, a 15-year-old intern. Maybe she was 16. Not sure. They got lots of that going on. Tell you, they're ahead of the moral brigade. Back to you, Mr. Midnight Movie. I just gave you all that time to figure out where you were.
Oh, there's
now. Todd Morris just said JP voted for Bernie Sanders.
No, I did not. I didn't even vote.
Well,
I don't know what's.
And why is that? Why wouldn't you vote?
Because the Electoral College makes the decision anyways. Who cares?
So you're saying your vote out of California?
Nobody's vote counts. What are you talking about? Shut up. The Electoral College.
Another one
the Electoral College has always picked our president. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It doesn't matter how you vote. It doesn't matter which way you go. The Electoral College always will elect the president. Look it up. Read about it. Do your homework.
That's true.
It's conspiratorial.
I don't understand.
Some people. I don't know why. I don't know why.
But what's your problem with that?
What's my problem with that? It's a stupid system. We shouldn't have. What's my problem with it? Shut up.
Well, then you know how to change it, don't you?
I don't. That's the thing. I mean, I do by talking about it. You make
an amendment to the Constitution and you change it.
Well, I think I talk about it. I don't know how else to fix it other than talk about it and try to help people who don't get that to get that. I don't know why it's even a stretch of the imagination. I guess it's because people don't realize that politics is just a big old pony show anyways. And it doesn't matter which way you vote, man. The Electoral College, it always will elect our president until it's changed.
Okay, so what happened with Trump? So then how did Trump get in there?
The Electoral College, he lost the popular vote. That was easy.
Yeah.
And by the way, Dean Walker says, I thought you folks were believers of objective facts, too scared to deal with the truth. Change the subject to fart jokes now, despite President Trump's directives to Secretary of State.
Well, you're right. He definitely knows who you
are. I'm glad he's a fan. Maybe he tweets out that shit. But despite President
my knowledge
Trump's
of politics is so base, by the way. It's just I don't know a lot about politics because I know what a pony show it is. So I am more focused on how to fix it rather than how to get involved in all these dumb issues. I'll have to find the quote for you, but I think it was one of the earliest politicians. Gosh, I can't. I'm ruining the story, but I think he was one of the maybe the top bankers at the Anyways, we're talking about early 1900s, and he flat out stated that politics will be how you can basically fool the populace in a way. You're going to create divide. You're going to have these politicians, and they're going to be on one side and the other, and they're going to have opposing views, and people will argue over these trivial matters, and will be forever entangled in these trivial matters.
There's a solution to that. There's a solution to make sure that never happens, ever.
Okay.
And I have said it several times. You apparently don't remember.
I remember, but say it again.
Yeah, okay. You teach logic in school. You teach logic from grade school on up. And you teach people to think logically. Now, that will never happen because the Teachers Association would never allow it to happen. Why is that? Logical thinkers could not believe the bullshit that they hear from the left. They couldn't believe what they hear from the right either.
Right.
Logical thinkers will likely become libertarians like me, and logical thinkers won't buy the bullshit because it just won't make sense. It won't make logical sense. There's no logic in any of it. I'd like you to believe illogical things. The left is rife with illogical things. It's all emotion. There's no logic. That's why when you find a woman who's logical, as long as she's good looking, you better fucking marry her. Because you won't find too many of them. Logic is something on the way out, not on the way in. But logic is the answer. If everybody was to think logically, there would be no Democrat Party. Nobody would have the temerity to join it. You see how that would be?
Mm-hmm.
I think there are plenty. I mean, because there's plenty of logic out there right now, and people still see what they see and hear what they hear.
That's because they don't know how to think logically. If they knew how to think logically, they could decipher that information and come to a logical conclusion. Not an emotional conclusion, which is how the left operates, but a logical conclusion. A logical thinking populace would be the death knell of the left.
So, Dean Walker just said, I thought you folks were into objective facts, too scared to deal with the truth. Change the subject to fart jokes now, despite President Trump's hold on, please shut up. Secretary of State Pompeo, no evidence documents an epidemic of murders targeting white South African farmers because of their race. The numbers of farm murders in South Africa hit a 30-year low point in the 2017-2018 report released by the...
Well, Mr. Midnight Movie, he could be correct in that it's the government that compiles those numbers.
Yeah, well, the South African government does lie, and like I said,
I don't know if you know this, but in Venezuela, they have very few deaths, very few murders. Now, I'm only going by the official documentation. Yeah. Very few deaths, very few murders. It's a very safe place to live.
Pretty objective here. I think we're objective. Dean is saying that we are boring, that we are not objective. But
you have the One Angry Jew on your show. You're not boring.
I agree.
Are you objective?
So now he's quoting Snopes. What are you doing?
Oh, yeah. Snopes is a great...
Come on,
these are the worst. This is a fat woman who can't keep her man from fucking prostitutes on the side. Yeah, and these are the people that are supposed to tell us what we're to believe. Right. That's amazing.
It's Wolfman. Mike. from Monster Castle Paranormal. Right. Yeah. We got some aliens, I guess. Their heads are blowing up in the backyard here. There goes another one. Oh, there goes another. Oh, head blew up pretty good. This is KTLK Digital Broadcasting, and you are listening to FM.
No, we are not. You stupid asshole, Wolfman. We are not on this
Can you dig it?
This is Monster Castle Paranormal Radio.
Not that one.
Right. It's kind of in the same category as the.
I don't see any. Mr. Midnight Movie rarely holds true to his standard. We've got to build better standards for our subjects. I agree. But I will say, without Gene Walker in the house, we have you in the house, and no offense, it's great to have you. But you've been here many times, and Mike is more than welcome to make comments too. And if they're off topic, we'll fuck you and deal with it.
I am very stupid, I try to make a little bit light on this stupid subject you talk about.
I'm with you. Some of these topics can
This
get
is not
really
a stupid subject.
Politics,
but
sir. I think politics are all stupid. I am a total anarchist. I believe everyone should take their arms up and go to your fucking goddamn government buildings with your tricycles and machetes and take back your fucking goddamn country.
Manja.
Right on.
And what would you do with it? What would you do with it once you've got it? I shuddered.
Everyone can live in peace. We don't have to pay taxes. We use the free energy devices that they've been lying to us about, and everyone will live in peace.
And we'll eat better too, for sure.
That's a whole other discussion.
It is. It's deep. Igor went really deep. Was that Mike? I don't even know anymore.
We've been on for over an hour. No, you have not. Don't be a liar. I want to. All right. Well, I'm gonna take a shower.
Hum.
Oh well, go ahead. Take it. There you go. Take a shower. JP and I can switch the discussion to the information that I've uncovered overnight.
Oh, yeah. Why don't you go ahead and take a shower? I got to hear this.
All right, I'm gonna take a shower.
All right.
Go take your shower. Stop bloviating.
Why don't you take a shit while you're away? Also.
I will too.
Okay.
That goes without saying.
I would hate to leave you talking by yourself for like 5 minutes, but is this something that you can get into a rant and talk to yourself about for 5 minutes, or do you need me to stick around?
No, I believe I can do that. Let me pull my chair up.
I don't want to end the show, and I want you to. Okay, so start talking. I'll be all right. I'll be back in just like 2 or 3 minutes.
I was going to hope you were going to wait until I hit my microphone, but all right.
Yeah, I'll wait. I can wait until you're on your microphone.
Yeah, just wait till you just blow me for a few seconds and let me sit down and change my microphone.
Dean Walker is commenting again, despite Trump's directive.
I gotta change my underwear too, eh? Because I've been sitting on this chair for like more than 48 hours, so I do have to change my underwear, eh? At one point.
Now,
how's that sound?
Underwear could be boxers or briefs. Which are you?
I am not much of a boxer, but if you want to try to punch me out, I'll try to fight back.
No, try going a day without any underwears. It feels very liberating, and my balls felt great all day.
Again, that's a whole other discussion. But why anybody would need underwear is beyond me. Women need underwear because they kind of cream during the day. But if you are clean, you're not going to leave skid marks. And anybody that needs underwear is an excuse to not have skid marks on their pants.
I agree, sir. And that's the whole reason why you have to keep your bum clean. Because it feels very nice to have your willy wobbling around in the wind. And it's really good. And you know what? Keep that motherfucker clean, man. And if you use your fucking dick and fuck girls once in a while, your balls won't go saggy and droopy either.
Oh, yes, they will. Nature will take care of that. Don't you worry about that. You stick around and you'll see I'm right. So, what have I found? I'll ignore this Dean Walker because I just don't like the smirky look on his face. No, he's got to change that picture.
Are you telling me you have saggy balls, sir?
Overnight, we have had a number of shows on Spreaker, starting with Rick, what's his name? Rick Rinsner? I don't know what his name is, whatever. The Fuck You Network, who made it very clear that he doesn't hold anything against anybody, but, of course, he hates the one angry Jew. I don't think he knows why. Something about being monotone. I don't think I've been monotone for years, but be that as it may. On his show, he interviewed our good friend Dennis Deitch, who I agree with Rick. Dennis is a bit of a retard, I think, and shouldn't really be out there putting his stories and his thoughts unfiltered. He doesn't seem to have a filter whatsoever. But he also had a conversation, I think it was the second night. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He had a conversation the first night with all about this email that went to Liz, to her boss. This purported email that to tell her boss what a vile woman she was, what a horrible, horrible woman. And I'll have to go find that email because it had some great stuff in there. We also got a visit from our good friend, Joe Seeker Brown. And Joe was quite jovial in his usual fashion in destroying other people. And he was very happy to tell Rick about how he had called Dennis's father. Now, Rick, of course, had just spent the last 10 minutes talking about how reprehensible, how disgusting it was that anybody would go outside of the Spreaker universe and bring in people who know nothing about what goes on in Spreaker, but bring in people or call relatives in order to cause the target, in this case it would have been Dennis, some kind of stress or trauma. And no sooner had he said that than Joe Brown comes out and says, "Oh, why, listen, I called Dennis's father twice." Because Dennis thinks he smirked. I'm sorry, by the way, smirk when uttered by someone from Nova Scotia means smart. It's their way of saying it. I don't understand why. It's probably a recessive gene. Joe Brown then went on and told him, and of course, Rick did not say, "Well, that's disgusting," as he was saying 10 minutes prior to that. He just said, "That's funny," with that fake laugh. He said that after he then commented on Debbie Daly's fake laugh. But going back to Joe Brown. Joe Brown, who likes to use the name Angry Bong, Aloof Bong, he goes by many names. We all know who he is. He is the one man who has admitted several times to going outside of the Spreakerverse, as I like to call it, and involving family members of people here on Spreaker. He went after Debbie Daly by calling her sister-in-law, although we're not quite sure which sister-in-law he called. Now, that's never been quite clear, but it doesn't matter because he was quite happy to tell everybody how he called her sister-in-law. And it's okay because the phone number that he used is listed. Let me think about that. So you can violate somebody's privacy. They didn't bring these people into Spreaker. Certainly Debbie Daly is never, I'm sure she would never want her sister-in-law to ever know what she says on Spreaker, so she would never bring her into Spreaker. But they then called this sister-in-law to tell the sister-in-law what kind of a shit Debbie Daly was. And it's okay because the number that he used was listed. I guess if it was an unlisted number and he somehow got a hold of it, in his mind, that wouldn't have been okay to call. But since the number was listed in the book, I guess meaning that anybody could call her, since they could look it up, I suppose that was okay. Now, the point I'm making here is there's been a lot of speculation about who sent this email. And I have issues with the email to begin with. From the point of view of, is it a crime to send an email with an opinion in it? I don't think it is. Is it a crime? Now, it might be a civil matter, but it certainly isn't a criminal matter. I have a hard time believing that it can be a criminal matter. And I've heard arguments on both sides, but I've not really seen any of the law that's involved. So I couldn't really tell you yes or no. But we have what we're told is somebody sent an email telling ostensibly to Liz's boss about what a horrible, horrible, horrible person Liz is. And the speculation has gone from that Debbie wrote it. In fact, Rick spent 2 hours talking about how he thought Debbie was the one that wrote it. But the email was spoofed to look like it was sent from me. Okay. But I want to put it out there to anybody who can think logically, and I know that sort of shuts out most of you. When you have a man like Joe Seeker, who is teamed up with Debbie Daly, calls her his queen, princess, whatever, I don't know. Something about how he doesn't like the way that Liz's voice sounds, but anything that Debbie says is wonderful because it's just so melodic.
Oh, yes.
When you have somebody who says things like that and admits to calling the sister-in-law, calls Dennis's father twice, threatens to call Kevin Kierstead's daughter, inform her that he was convicted of beating his wife, her mother.
That all happened on Discord.
Well, that didn't happen on Discord.
Oh, was that Blog Talk
way
Radio?
Before Discord.
Where was it?
Well, Kevin Kierstead, who killed himself, and if you listen to a lot of Kevin's recordings, Kevin will say how he can what's the word? He can excuse, or he can give just about everybody on Spreaker except for one person. There's one person on Spreaker that Kevin Kierstead said he could not forgive, ever. It would take lifetimes and probably would never happen. And that person was Joe Brown. Joe Brown,
no doubt.
I'm sorry, Joe Seeker, was the one who said he was going to call Kevin's daughter and let her know about the conviction that he found when he started doxing information on Kevin. Kevin, a few weeks later, killed himself.
Correct.
Yeah. Who else has our friend Joe Brown called? Oh, he called Alan Wayne when Alan Wayne got himself a gig at a local radio station. He called the radio station. Not my speculation. He says it. In fact, in the link that I put in your chat to Debbie's show, which of course could be up or down at any moment, depending on whether she sneezes.
Yeah.
He admits to all of this.
Right.
So calls Alan Wayne, calls Dennis Deitch, calls Debbie's sister-in-law, threatens to call Kevin Kierstead's daughter. Claims to have spoken to my dead mother. Claims to have spoken to my sister and brother. Well, they're alive. My mother's dead. Everything I just said is based not upon my firsthand knowledge. It's based upon what he said, what he's admitted to. And he's admitted to it on several shows.
And I'm going to have to agree with you, sir. I've heard a lot of this shit, and I think it's garbage, and I'm going to totally support you on this. As Wolfman Mike from Monster Castle Paranormal, I fully 100%. And, a lot of these people are very egotistical And I don't know, like man, come
support.
on, everyone should just get along, fucking help each other, man. This is Discord madness. This is the undernet. I mean, the Spreaker Underground. We can make a network. We can be good, man. We can be good, but don't fight with each other. Debbie, Debbie's just as bad. She fucking put my show. I didn't even know anything about this shit. So she records an episode of my show, puts it on the air on her show, and then starts nitpicking, make fun of my fucking show, my first fucking episodes. I've never done this before, and she's making fun of me on the air. I was fucking hurt, man. That hurt me bad. I was pissed, man.
But it's still.
I was fucking pissed, man. And then I found out what this all Spreaker fucking goddamn drama is all about. Why don't people just get along on here? We're all pretty talented people. If you don't, we could do something together as a network. But alone, fighting against each other, you're never going to get any fucking where. None of you. And that's the fucking truth.
Okay, go back to the part where you agree with me.
I agree with you completely, sir. About this Joe Seeker and his calling people. That is atrocity, man. And I'm scared to say that he's a fellow Canadian. But, yeah. After what you said and calling people, like even if it's whoever it is, I would have to say he's a fucking goof.
And he's not representative of all Canadians. Don't worry.
Okay, that's good.
And Dennis is my buddy, and I stuck up for Dennis. And I told him that I will send my Chihuahua down there to represent Joe, and then he can beat up my Chihuahua if it'll make him feel any better.
Probably put it on a barbecue. I would keep your Chihuahua where you can look at it. Why are we looking at anybody without first really taking a good hairy eyeball look, painful as that might be, at Joe Seeker, who is an admitted serial Spreaker universe barrier penetrator, someone who knows no boundaries? What do you say to that, JP?
Yeah, he's admitted to me several of those things that you mentioned. I'm in agreement. I think that some of this has to do with Joe Brown, but I think I'm not gonna pull my finger away from Debbie either.
Oh no, they're in it together. No, she wrote it, but I guarantee you that the two of them together are the one that put all this thing together and sent it out.
I think
they did it together.
Yep.
The writing has Debbie written all over it because Joe, his little brain just can't quite get up to that level of writing. And nobody has claimed that Debbie is stupid. She's not. She's got some ingrained, incorrect things in her vocabulary, which came out in that letter, by the way. Her use of the word vitriol.
Dude, she's got all kinds of websites warning people about her. How she's taken people down personally, just like Joe, just like what you're describing. Debbie taught him everything. There's websites about Debbie Daly warning you about her.
Listen, turn down your modulation. You're hurting my ears. You're going to come in here and jump in like that. Jump in.
Okay, I turned it down. How's that?
So, what do you think, JP? I think it's both of them.
Wolfman's excitable. Part of his lure is the. Okay. I like when
don't let him play with dynamite, and then don't let him play with explosives. But still, let him.
Somebody pisses me off. I'm sorry. I'm going to stick up for the fucking world, and these people are fucking evil.
The whole world?
Damn right. I'm a fucking warlock.
What is it with these Canadians?
I don't know. It's a strange breed. You throw Dennis in the mix, you really got me scratching my head.
Oh, you're right.
Actually,
yeah, of course.
Dennis lives near me, and he's part of my coven. Dennis and I are partners in our witchcraft, believe it or not.
Yeah, it's good to know. So, what do you think of my hypothesis here that we ought to be looking straight at Debbie and Joe?
The last couple of days I've been pitching. I think I even threw it out there in last night's Debbie show. I said the same thing. I spread about Joe and his involvement, and also mentioned vitriol being misused by Debbie.
It was TOLED. They stole my coat from the front counter. It was stoled.
What's your point?
Stoled. That, by the way, is a word. Stoled. You know what I mean?
What's your point?
No, what?
It means to wear a stole, like a mink stole. Stole. It's a real word. It has nothing to do with stealing.
So after it was worn, it became stoled.
Well, in
so
her
stole had been worn, it was stoled.
Texas thing.
Yeah. Okay, Howard. Next.
Texans seem to be afflicted with the misuse of that word. I'm not entirely sure why.
Sounds like Dennis.
Once you talk to a Newfie, right? Once you talk to a Newfie and tell them how they speak
English. Nobody wants anything from Dennis.
You gotta
shut up.
Go on.
You shut up right now. I told you 3 times, you know.
The point I'm making is her misuse of the words and the words that she used. Now, I was not taken aback. I was pleasantly surprised when I first read that email that the word pernicious was used. Now, that's a good word.
Yes. I think that's in the opening paragraph, right?
It is in the opening paragraph. Well, pernicious and malevolent. I mean, 2 really good words. Somebody pulled out a thesaurus on this one.
Yes. Nobody's saying she's stupid.
No, she certainly knows how to use a thesaurus. There's no question about it. But the use of
are these allegations of her, like these websites that warning people about her? Do you guys know anything about this?
Oh, there's all kinds of stuff out there. Oh yeah,
there's lots of stuff out there. Nobody really pays attention.
Okay, my ex-producer Joe Roop, when I was on his network, KTLK, the Fringe.fm. He researched her because she was going in my chat room and saying weird shit. So he did a little research and pulled up some really freaky shit on her, man.
Don't you think, Wolfman, we ought to invite your fellow Canadian, Joe Seeker Brown, to the show to defend these allegations that I have brought forth?
Oh, God. Sure. I could take him on anytime.
Well,
I'm not sure if you guys can handle him, but I can.
He's in the chat room right now.
That's fine. We ought to he can come right to my house and I'll punch him right in the fucking nose. You don't call people. You don't go call people's family outside of the Spreaker universe like you said. I agree with you.
The Spreaker verse.
Yeah, that's bullshit, man. That's fucking goof shit, man. It's goof shit.
That's my name. I'm not sure if I'm the first one to say that. Am I?
Yeah, it's goof shit, man. You can fuck off.
So we should have Joe Seeker call in and discuss
Joe. Fucking call in if you got fucking balls. They don't hang out your fucking pants.
Joe and I had it out on Rick's show the other night.
I'm sorry. Who had it out on Rick's show?
This Dream Master had it out with Joe. You know, the 2 guys that hate each other.
You had your balls handed to you. You were a laughing stock. You were making sense.
Okay. A question to ask you, gentle people, because you know of this gentle person, I'm sure. Bill Wagner. What do you know of this gentle person?
I know a lot about Bill Wagner, and I'll discuss none of it. Next.
Jew's friends with Bill Wagner. He's known.
No, I'm not exactly friends with Bill at the moment. I'm not fighting with
strange relationship.
What do you know? What do you know of the man? Like, what do you know of him? Is he a good man? Is he a bad man?
I know more than most people. Let's put it that way, and I have nothing to say.
Okay. So is he a good man or a bad man?
Well, that's up to you.
Yeah, you've got to make that up your own.
I know. This is why I'm asking people that know the man.
Why don't you pull up your trousers and go figure it out?
God.
Wait a minute. Why do you even want to know? What is your involvement?
Because I'm going to start up a show again, and he's going to be my first guest. I'm going to interview.
Well, then have him as your first guest if you can find him. Wait a minute. What does it have anything to do whether I think he's a good man or a bad man or anything? If you're going to have him on your show, why do you care?
Shut the fuck up, you idiot! I was asking for a little bit of insight.
Now you're telling me I'm an idiot and I should shut the fuck up?
I was asking you for some insight.
I told you 3 times you don't listen. That's why Pakis have red dot on their forehead when I poke them with my finger.
Why does he have to answer?
Why did he even ask me is a better question.
Yeah, I don't know why you asked.
Because I was looking for some insight. Don't you get it? Are you that stupid?
You asked a guy for an interview and you don't even
touch
know.
me there.
I've done my own research, my friend.
Mad about Joe Brown calling your father twice.
About him.
Can you stick
Joe
to a
Brown.
topic?
Sphincter?
I do
Transition
not
to other
understand the topic. Oh yes, we are trying to bash the Joe Seeker man.
Oh, fuck him, little fucking
Trying
fucker.
to bash Joe Seeker. Joe Seeker
I'll
has
fucking
very
bash Joe Seeker.
eloquently
Fuck that
admitted
little
that
fucking
he
fuck.
has no boundaries, that he will do just about anything.
No, because that little fuck was like Rick was talking on me again, second night in a row. Oh yeah, when Howard seems to be laughing, Joe handed my balls to me or whatever, and that was good. Yeah, and Joe Stinker, what did he say? Oh, I can't talk on this because the Canadian laws. Yeah, because he's already fucked me around. See,
Right.
I already told him.
So he's afraid of the Canadian law. Is that what it is?
No, he's afraid of what I can do to him. That's what he's afraid of.
Tell us, as the aggrieved individual.
I already told him. The same thing Liz is doing to fucking Debbie, but that Debbie's done to Liz, I'm doing, because in my case,
First of all,
Joe's
Debbie
called Joe has called my house twice on 2 occasions.
Yeah,
and I told him that they've been recorded.
Okay, that's great.
So he knows.
You're not going to do anything to Debbie Daly unless it's done the proper way. She's a vampire.
Okay. Yeah. Tell us something we don't already know, Howard.
The equivalent of the Spreaker wooden stake.
We don't
She will
already
never
know.
stop. Rise again, Nosferatu. I'm sorry. Are you done, Dennis?
Can I start ranting now, please?
Igor, come back, Igor.
Actually, this is Art Dinglebell here.
Seriously.
Hey, Art.
How are you doing today?
How long does it take that fat man to take a shower?
Man.
Actually, first depends on how long it takes him to shave and shit.
Yeah, I really didn't want that much detail.
Well, and after he shits, he always comes out of the trailer saying, "Oh my God, I don't know where to wash my hands, and where do I dump my toilet?" So I'm
that
not
made
sure
no
how to
sense.
go with this one. Just telling you the truth, right?
Do you smoke a lot of pot?
Popsicles. Yes. Joe sends me other drugs.
It shows. Okay, that's all right.
We Canadians do a lot of drugs
Did
together.
you
I'm sorry.
make a comment
I'm very
about
sorry.
Joe
We do
Seeker
a lot
having
of
no back-
fucking drugs, okay? We like drugs here in Canada.
Yeah, all right. Well, obviously Joe Seeker shared them with his 16-year-old.
Whoa.
Well, that is not even
didn't
cool.
know about
That
You didn't know that?
a problem.
He was giving
no, I
hard,
don't know these
He
things.
was giving hard drugs. This comes out of his mouth. I didn't make it up. He was giving hard drugs to his, shall I use the vernacular, his minor child.
I don't know what to say about
A
that.
man of
Dude, it's the top of the hour.
just dubious morals.
Nice.
So where are we to go with this information? Where we have all of this behavior in the past.
It's midnight here in Ontario, and it's a full moon. So can we not howl at this moment, please, and stop talking about politics?
It begs the
How
question,
far
do
can
need
you
a
go
break
from
too,
your
or are you
mic
good to
before
go?
you lose connection?
You don't sound like
Wait. Before you do that, how far can you go from your microphone before you lose connection?
me?
No, Wolfman. I was hoping he'd walk out the backyard.
Is Howard finished yet?
No, I'm hoping a hunter will come by and
Okay,
get him
keep
pellet gun.
Okay, I just did something. I just turned my mic down. There. Is that better?
Oh, you turned it down? Oh, okay.
I turned it way the fuck down. Yeah, for you guys.
Don't use it to fucking turn, Howard.
I turned it down for you guys. But see, for my gain, for where I'm putting out, I had to have it where it is.
Thanks for being so entertaining, buddy.
Of this development with Joe and Debbie. Let's not forget Debbie. Debbie is certainly the writing part of this duo.
And they both have breasts. Yes, they both have breasts.
Yes, Saggy was.
There's no Debbie in your chat room. Why is that?
That's a good question. I don't know.
You know, it really sucks for people like that when you get it back from people like us, because I don't take shit from morons, and they can make fun of me all they want, but I make fun of myself, and I'll make fun of everyone else too. I don't give a fuck. Neither does Dennis.
Might as well. Everybody else is.
Did you get the hell out of the shower already?
I have. I'm scrubbing my balls this week.
Oh boy! Don't forget the Gold Bond.
I don't have any. It's hard to come across nowadays.
Oh, I have some. I will sell it to you.
According to Debbie, he'll sell it to you.
No, she spotted him right on that. The regular Mordecai Shekelfer.
That's right.
Shekelstein.
It's the last of my stash. I ain't giving it away.
I wish you'd sell me a corned beef special. Fuck.
How about a Reuben?
Oh, a Reuben corned beef special. You know, pastrami. It doesn't matter. Any of the three would do. The coleslaw I can supply. Boy, do I really want a corned beef special. Oh, man.
You know what I had for the first time? When I went to dinner, I took some folks out. We went to this deli, my favorite deli, and the lady got a Monte Cristo. I knew of the sandwich. I've never ordered it.
Yeah. I got a friend to eat that all the time.
Yeah, it's like a ritual with her. She
disgusting to watch it. Yeah, it's disgusting to watch people eat it.
Oh, it's so gross. Just so gross.
Awful.
Monte Cristo is
it's the worst thing you can do to a sandwich. It tastes good, I'm sure, but
now
it's got to be just a lead ball of death.
There's another version of I think it's very similar to the Monte Cristo, but it's got another name, and it's not really popular in California, but it is in the Midwest. You might know of it. Do you know what I'm talking? There's another sandwich with a weird name like that.
No.
Damn it!
I come from a place where we have good sandwiches. I have eaten the $22, I think it was $23 corned beef special at Stage Deli.
That must have been incredible.
It's something that Mr. Midnight Movie would appreciate because it's huge.
Oh yeah.
It might be $23, but it's big.
And
it's not meant to be. It's not meant to be eaten in one sitting.
Yeah, that's how they are at Brent's Deli here in the Valley. Incredible. You get great size, but you're also getting just some of the finest. Yet, just amazing.
My grandmother used to cook.
Oh, there's nothing like it when it comes right out of the oven. I mean, it's just incredible.
And she made her own cheesecake too. So back to this cabal between Debbie and Joe. I really think that is your origin of the letter. Although I'm a little dubious on this whole FBI police involvement, whatnot. I just don't see it as a crime.
You can almost figure out the timeline too. This is very. It's always kind of a dead giveaway for Debbie unless she's already gone back and deleted episodes. But you could usually go back and see they were probably shows with Joe and Debbie up until the point of that letter being submitted, and then there was probably a disbanding of. I'm just guessing. I just haven't been to her show, but I'm guessing Joe's kind of stayed away from her show.
Yep, you're correct, sir.
There you go. I mean, dude, it's all right there. It's right in our faces, and they're lying through their teeth. It's
written in the bits and bytes of the internet.
So much lying.
I know, it's right on their fucking hard drives, buddy. You can delete all the fucking shit you want, man.
By the way,
get that shit wiped.
Who did she copy with all the V words?
Who did she copy? Don't know.
I love V words. Vile, vituperative, vitriolic, vicious.
Were those all in the letter? All the V words?
No. but the use of the word pernicious was a good one. I gotta get whoever came up with that one. That was a good one. Now we know Joe didn't come up with that because I don't think he has any education.
I do see that as a Debbie word, a potential Debbie word, a word that Debbie would
malevolent
like.
and pernicious. Malevolent is malevolent's a good word. I have a word I like to use with an M.
Malevolent is a good word. Okay.
Well, yes. I'm sorry, Dennis. Are you
malevolent, Howard? Are you malevolent, B?
It's used correctly. It's a great word.
Yeah. But use of pernicious is a really good word.
Yes.
No, but are you a malevolent individual? Do you hold yourself as being a malevolent person?
That's not what he was saying, though, Dennis. That's not what